Hey everyone, Chloe here, and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, ladies and lurkers, welcome. So today's video is a long overdue one, and a heads up to those of you who are tuning in, this video will also be a highly triggering one. So hold on to your edges and your afro and your braids and your ponytail and your wig cap and your extensions, and go get a glass of wine or a hot cup of tea or a gallon of water or your fruit snacks. And all that I ask is that you keep an open mind, because this will be a very raw and intense starter conversation on dissecting and discussing all aspects, light and dark, but mostly dark, of being an independent woman. Now, when it comes to women's empowerment, there are many facets to this diamond that we call womanhood. But unfortunately, when it comes to having a fully fleshed conversation and an education on the entire spectrum of women's empowerment, we are almost always evasive, or we are extremely silent when it comes to speaking about the dark side of independence. And unfortunately, when it comes to conversations on women's empowerment, there is an absence and a dearth of what I call the full story. As modern women, we are groomed and socially engineered to embrace and to nurture and to pour into our independence and to wear it as a badge of honor, particularly as Black women, because as Black women, our independence is so strongly connected to our survival. But along with that independence and that independent mindset, we are also groomed to tout our superhuman strength and to brag about our accomplishments outside of relationships and intimacy and family and love. And we are encouraged to be the face of strength, and we are very proud to be social justice warriors and to raise our voices with pride about being boss women and about not needing men. But what about the dark side of independence, the role reversal, the dwelling in your masculine and attracting weak men and house husbands, and the devastation of loneliness and being tired and exhausted and burned at both ends of the candlestick and being strung along and manipulated by men, because we aren't educated on how men are wired, and we also aren't educated on how we are wired as women. And many of you have tagged me on Facebook and Instagram with many stories of successful women who are breadwinners, who are not only involved in nasty role reversal entanglements such as Nicki Minaj and her felon bae, Kenneth Petty, but also of women who are now obligated to pay alimony and palimony, and women who are now obligated by law to pay spousal support to their ex-husbands. But here's the real triggering part of this video. Many modern women are also as quiet as a church mouse when it comes to having open and honest discussions about relationships and money and who's going to pay, and about the negative repercussions that come with over self-reliance, like being on your own all the time. And even more triggering, how women cry themselves to sleep at night because they don't have a provider or a quality relationship. And we don't talk about enough. We're going to go deep here about why many modern women and career women don't have children. And it's not only because they don't want them, or why many women end up having children outside of wedlock, or conversations, okay, on what it means to be motivated by the wiring of your biological clock. And we don't have enough conversations on infertility, because infertility depression is a very real thing. And we also do not have open and honest conversations about breadwinner depression and chronic sadness, and or open discussions about being on medication or alcohol abuse and the quality of our mental health. And we often do not openly discuss our frustrations with having to do it all and be it all until we are way in over our heads. And these open and honest and fully fleshed conversations must happen if women are to fully embrace all aspects, okay? Not only some aspects, but all aspects of empowerment, womanhood, and femininity. And more importantly, and this will trigger many of you who are listening and ear hustling, we need to start having open conversations on normalizing this idea of Black women as stay at home wives and stay at home mothers. Black women in particular are over groomed in this narrative of resilience and strength, leaving us very little wiggle room to openly embrace our femininity. And in many ways, we are also hurting, and we are also emotionally broken, and we are also struggling with anger and rage and resentment and poor physical health from constantly carrying the burden of masculinity. And we are also deeply fearful of being vulnerable and of opening up ourselves to a wider spectrum of womanhood that includes hypergamy. And this conversational absence and neglect is a deep psychological part of the embedded fears and the living frustrations and the living nightmares that aren't being publicly addressed on any level with modern women at all. And these silent struggles are the main reasons why so many of you have subscribed to this platform and to this channel, and why this channel has exploded in such a short period of time. Because as women, particularly Black women, we need to have more conversations on feminine education and more conversations on the power of femininity and how to use it to our advantage, just as much as we have conversations on entrepreneurship and being single and being businesswomen and politics and being disenfranchised and being independent. The raw truth is that many modern women, if we're really going to be honest here, are really hurting. And I privately consult with them every day because I hate to say it, but you need to hear it. Many modern women are socially engineered to lack balance, and many modern women are conditioned to devalue the importance of intimate relationships at the expense of themselves. And more importantly, many modern women lack fulfillment, and it is a silent and deadly killer. And the things that women, particularly Black women, are engineered to value, having independence, a formal education, a college degree, not relying on a man, and being boss babes, those aspects of feminism and being a modern woman, and some of you may be triggered to hear this, those accomplishments are not in alignment with having intimacy and having someone to care. And they are not in alignment with being feminine. And they are not in alignment with having a feminine education. And these college degrees and accomplishments are not helping women to understand how men are wired, and they are not helping women to understand the damaging effects of role reversal. And they do not help women learn how to navigate success in romantic relationships. And I hate to say it, but when it comes to dissecting women's empowerment, there is an intentional movement to shroud and to cover up the deep pain and the suffering of the modern woman, and to neglect this open nerve ending in a sort of sick and weird and twisted kind of open secrecy. And there are a lot of women who are listening and tuning in right now who are living in the shame of the dark side of being an independent woman. And they are living in the sadness of being with a man that they do not admire or respect. So, ladies, it is time to start having open and honest conversations, not only about our careers and our earning potential, but also about respecting the full spectrum of what it means to be a fully actualized, balanced, and fulfilled woman. So that's all I have to say on this for now. Now it's your turn. Tell me your thoughts about the dark side of independence below. Should the dark side of independence remain in silence? Is femininity or hypergamy about taking women back to the 1950s? Has feminism done more harm than good? Tell me whether you liked or didn't like this video below, and stay tuned for more videos to come, and I will catch up with you guys in the next one.